Hello everybody, I just wanted to come on here and make a quick video talking about Anime Vanguards Update 1 and what we could possibly expect for Update 1.5. Now this video is going to be a little bit longer than my usual videos, so I'm just going to get right into it. Let's start off with Update 1. Did this update save the game? Absolutely. Was it 5 times the size of Update 0.5 like I said in my other video? No. Was it enough content to keep us satisfied? That's up to you. Content-wise, we got the Cursed Fingers from the Infinite mode, new Legend stages, and Toji's quest line. We also got a revamp for Paragon, and we got tournaments. Also forgot to mention that we did get a new story mode, but everybody knew that. Now, what I wanted to talk about is the main source of grinding for this update, that being the Cursed Fingers from Infinite. As you may know, there's a cursed shop in the lobby where you can use the Cursed Fingers to purchase items. This includes rerolls, Gojo's evolution item, some stones, and some stat chips. Now the problem isn't the shop itself, as it's really good that we have another way of getting rerolls and all this other stuff. It's how long it takes to get said fingers to buy all this stuff in the shop. Now I'm not going to do any calculations here because I don't know exactly what the chance is for Sukuna to spawn in Infinite, but from personal experience it's almost ridiculously low. Now I'm not sure if it's bugged, but I got to wave 30 multiple times in Infinite, and some of the runs didn't even have one Sukuna spawn. Now obviously I could just be ridiculously unlucky, but that's still kind of outrageous. The only other complaint that I still have is that it takes just way too long to get green stones to be able to evolve every character, especially with there being so many this update. Aside from that, the update was amazing. Recently, LorTomo posted a video interviewing Andravius. If you don't know who Andravius is, he is one of the developers for the game. Andravius is the one responsible for most of the unit balancing, ideas for the game, and just overall mechanics. So I just wanted to go through the video and just theorize about stuff that they said. Also, thank you to LorTomo for giving me permission to do this. Let's go ahead and start.
He's not here yet. Not because he's not finished or anything, but we already planned for something else to introduce him.
So as most of you may know by now, Sukuna is not in the game yet. He was shown in the trailer and we all assumed he would drop on release. Here Andravius is confirming that the unit is indeed finished, but they're waiting for a different opportunity to put him in the game. Now recently we did get a quote-unquote leak about a boss event for Sukuna, which LorTomo shows in the video. What I'm kind of confused about is Itadori is a banner unit which we know is going to evolve into Sukuna once he is added into the game. I believe that in the boss event, like the last time Egress was the 2% drop from said boss event, we could expect the Evo material for Itadori to be the 2% this time. It could be easier to obtain this time, maybe a 5%, 10% drop, but seeing how good Gojo is in the game right now, I would assume they'd want to make Sukuna probably equal if not a little bit stronger and make his Evo material a little bit harder to get. Again, this is all just speculation by me. Now on to the next thing.
There's one planned unit that's upcoming kind of soon. I want to say super soon. That has an ability similar to Blossom.
Are you able to give us the name? Are you able to give us what it does?
Okay, the ability creates a barrier that blocks enemy attack.
Ooh, are we gonna get Hinata?
Not Hinata.
So here, Andravius reveals to us that we will be getting another support unit that applies something to our units, that being a shield of some sorts that protects the units from being attacked by bosses. LorTomo asks if it is Hinata, and Andravius confirms that it is not. When I first watched this video, the first thing that popped into my mind was Bartolomeo from One Piece, as he uses the Bari Bari no Mi, which is barriers. There are some in the comments who had the same idea, but there are others who think that it could be Orihime from Bleach, as she can create a triangle-shaped barrier to reflect attacks. Now, all of these are great guesses, but again, we still don't have any confirmed character. On to the next thing.
Some traits that are something that's getting added with a different game mode way later. Let me see where it is. Probably during winter of this year or next year. Some traits aren't like a second trait. It's more like a curses from Anime Adventures. It's something that like helps your unit. It's not just gonna be like a stat change, but
Okay.
there'll be a lot of different sub traits that do different things. So you'd want a specific one on a character, and you won't be able to use rerolls to get sub traits. It'll be a completely like free to play system.
Oh, okay. Okay. So we won't be able to buy it, use Robux to buy it.
No.
If you've been in the community since before the game is released, in the previous trailers of the game, we did see sub-traits being a thing in this game. Previously, it was shown to us just being a secondary trait, like you could get Monarch in Blitz, for example, but here Andrevius is clarifying that that is not the case anymore. Sub-traits are going to have an entirely different pool to choose from. He calls them almost similar to the curses we had back in Anime Adventures, which would lower a certain stat but would also raise another. This is very interesting because Andrevius also clarifies that this is going to be a completely free to play thing to put on your characters. In fact, he says that there's going to be no way to purchase them with Robux at all, which is a huge step in the right direction for my wallet not being empty anymore.
Yeah, before every main update, which is like a 1.0, 2.0, or there's at least one 1.5 in between that's planned. And whenever we introduce a big main update, it's gonna have a lot more characters, and we'll usually introduce something new.
Here Andrevius is talking about update 1.5, and this is super interesting because Anime Adventures had a similar thing to what he just said. In between each story update for Anime Adventures, we would get something different. For example, we would get raids, we would get a different farmable portal, or something different like the summer, Halloween, and winter events. Now, in these smaller updates, we would get less characters usually, but at least it would be something for us to grind while we wait for the bigger main update. Now, this usually meant that the updates were a little bit more grindy in terms of the content in them, but that's just to give us something to farm.
Portals were planned for release for units like Igris, or to get a portal and then do a new stage to get them. But there's no, it's kind of, it'd be the same as getting them from the stage, so it's a pointless feature that was intended to be copied from Anime Adventures.
If you are new to my channel, you know how much of a believer I was in portals being added this update, and this kind of just completely throws that idea away. What Andrevius is saying here is completely true. It is essentially the same thing as just getting it from the stage and not doing some other stage to get the unit with the same chance. But whether or not it be the same thing, players want variety. For example, if you had a legend stage that had a 0.75% chance to get the unit like Igris, and you did that again for a different unit, people are just going to call it repetitive. But if you add in portals, and said portals have a 0.75% drop chance to drop a secret portal for a secret unit, then people are going to be excited because it is something new and something different. Again, for all I know, you guys don't care and I'm just yapping, but in my eyes, that's how I see it.
Okay, we're trying to avoid big animes like that are risky, like My Hero that had a collaboration with Crunchyroll, or One Piece that is having a collaboration with Netflix in the future. Stuff like that is difficult to add just because people want it a lot, but it is a big risk for the game to be shut down unless we completely change the models. And a big aspect of the game is the models are pretty accurate to the series they're from, and I think that's why a lot of people play this over other games. But if we ever run into issues with the MCA in the future, we already have redesigned concepts for most of the characters. So wouldn't it be like we could just put blank models on him, and then a week later or 2 weeks later we'd have a new model ready?
Now, right here is confirmation that some animes will not be added to the game, as some more mainstream titles do have partnerships with other companies, which means they are more prone to giving out DMCAs as they are more strict with their licensing. And as you heard at the end of the clip, if anything of that sort ever happens, like a DMCA takedown request, they already have designs ready for the units that are already in the game for them to be able to just quickly remake a model so that the game can come back. Now on to the final thing.
Ovi asked, will the future update be in the span of a month? Like before they said the lack of the developers, they lack developers, but since now they have more devs, will the update be more likely to come sooner, or will
more likely to come sooner.
There you have it. Updates are supposed to come sooner. That doesn't mean that they are going to come sooner, however. We can reasonably assume that maybe every 2 or 3 weeks we can probably get an update. But again, this is all just speculation by me. And that's about all I have for you guys today. Now obviously I didn't go over all of LorTomo's video because I didn't want to seem like I'm just taking his video and adding a little bit of commentary in between. So if you would like to go watch the entire 35-minute interview, I'll leave that down in the description below. But if you're still watching, I'd like to give you a humongous thank you. As some of you may know, in the Anime Vanguards Discord, there was recently a content creator purge, as the requirements to apply for said content creator role were raised. Now, as you can tell if you look at my subscriber count, I definitely don't reach the requirements. But I guess in the eyes of the higher ups, I was good enough to stay. And now that there's so many less of content creators, that means I just gotta step up my game. So I would genuinely like to thank all of you still watching so much for absolutely everything. Now, if you're still here and you haven't already, please go down and hit that subscribe button, as it helps out more than you could ever imagine. I am so close to 1.5k subs, and if you could help me get there, I would be eternally grateful. But aside from that, I have nothing else to say. So thank you so much for watching, and have a blessed day.